Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to our content lesson. Today we're talking about connecting claims and reasoning. But first, a few announcements. If you would like to redo the assignment number 18 article comprehension quiz, you will need to email Mr. Fitzpatrick and let him know so that he can reset your score. Our Zoom meetings take place 30 minutes after the start of class. We are still getting emails from students who are trying to get into the Zoom right when class starts. Please read the announcements as it reminds you when our Zoom meeting starts that day. And if you need to watch any of the previous content lessons, you can access them through the Bitmoji Classroom by clicking on the Old Lessons link. Today, our learning intention is to understand how to create a claim and how to develop reasoning that supports it. You will show that you can do this by creating a series of claims that each will have a set of valid reasoning. You need to practice this because you will eventually be writing your own argumentative essay. And in order to do that, you'll need to understand how to create a claim and support it with reasoning. So let's first review claims. We've talked about this before, so let's go through this pretty quickly. A claim needs to be specific. It also needs to be controversial, which means that it is an opinion that can be argued against. And it needs to be something that you yourself believe. Now, we've already talked about in previous Zoom meetings what the author's claim is. So let's review what we know about that. Number one, the author thinks that stereotype threats are bad. Number two, the author thinks that people are negatively affected by them. And number three, the author thinks that people should do something to eliminate them. When you put all three of those things together, you get a statement something like, stereotype threats are hurting people's performance, and we should be doing more to prevent them. So let's test this claim against our rules. Number one, is it specific? Yes. We know what the author is referring to, specifically stereotype threats. Is it controversial? Yes, someone could realistically disagree and say that it is not a problem that we need to be focused on fixing. And number three, does the author believe it? Yes, the author reports on social science and human behavior, and also we can assume he believes this because he puts his name to it. Anytime a journalist is willing to stand by their work, we can assume that they believe what they are saying. Now that we've reviewed the author's claim, let's review reasoning. Reasoning is the explanation that you give for why the audience should do what you want, or why this is something that should matter to them. It is also used as a way to get the audience to care about taking your side. It is also used as a way to get your audience to care about taking your side, or sometimes about taking any side at all. And it always works best when you understand your audience. The more you know about them, the better chance you have of convincing them or finding reasons why they should care. Reasoning often relies on using pathos as a rhetorical strategy. Feelings and emotions can be very motivational, and they drive our actions a lot of the time. So what reasons does the author give us for why we should care about eliminating stereotype threats? The author attempts to motivate us by getting us to feel sympathetic towards women and minorities in the field of academics. He brings up several examples of how the performance of women and minorities are hurt by stereotype threats. And some of his research even suggests that women and minorities can be discriminated against as a result of stereotype threats. But the best example of the author's reasoning can be found in paragraph 9. This paragraph reads, "The same phenomenon applies to women's performance in mathematics. Reminding women about their gender or telling them that men generally outperform women on math tests invariably depresses the women's scores. Similarly, telling test takers that people of Asian descent score better than other students depresses the performance of white men. The impact of stereotype threats has been demonstrated in several foreign countries, in educational settings ranging from kindergarten to college, and a variety of settings where adults work and play." Now let's examine the reasoning behind this paragraph. To begin with, He brings up how women are being negatively affected by the stereotype threats. He also uses the word depresses twice, which means to lower the degree of something. But the word depresses also has an emotional connotation to it. We know that the author is talking about lowering their score, but we also get the sense that there's an emotional reaction happening to these people as well. And lastly, he implies that what is happening to women and minorities as a result of stereotype threats could also be happening to several other people and even to ourselves. So when you are coming up with your own claims and reasoning, imagine that your audience is asking you these two questions. What do you want me to do? And why should I do it? What do you want me to do? In the article, the author wants the audience to use several simple measures that appear to be highly effective at reducing stereotype threats in order for schools and companies to get students and workers to perform at their full potential. Why should I do it? The reason why is because the impact of stereotype threats has been demonstrated in several foreign countries, in educational settings ranging from kindergarten to college, and a variety of settings where adults work and play. When you write your own argumentative essays in this class, you are going to want to have one very clear and specific claim. But in order to support that claim, you are going to want to have multiple reasons. For example, your claim could be, you should enlist in the Army. Your reasons for that could be, the Army could use someone like you. You will learn valuable job skills, and serving your country will make you proud. I want you to look very closely at those three reasons. You'll notice that none of those statements are facts. These are all ideas that need to be proven themselves. For your introductory assignment, you'll need to go to Google Classroom and find the quiz assignment number 23, Connecting Claims and Reasoning Quiz. Remember that you can only take this quiz once. You can watch the video as many times as you want. You can even watch the video while you are taking the quiz. Have the video on one tab and have the quiz in another. And don't forget that our Zoom takes place 30 minutes after the start of class. See you there.